It always comes to this. More nice shit. Morning guys, here to do another tattoo progress update today. I'm doing this one, oddly enough, in the morning. I almost never do this. Kevin and I would normally be recording a Remy Reacts right now, but Kevin's away, so I've decided to do my vlog in place of that. Not that that really matters much, but I'm in different spirits in the morning than I am in the evening, so I'm a little fresher for this than I normally would be. Where I last left off, I showed off the head tattoo that I got done with Terry. My hair's regrown a little bit even since then, but yeah, it's fully peeled and it did really, really well. I don't know how well that showed it off. It's always hard to show off the back of your head or neck or something. So when I do the back tattoo Blackout, that's going to be mostly just me talking with pictures. I don't think I'm going to be able to show off too much about the healing and stuff of that without, you know, no one seeing what I'm actually showing or describing. Anyway, I've had another session since. You can probably already tell. You can see the high points here sticking out on this rose. We also darkened the leaves on the top rose. As I've mentioned in previous vlogs, for whatever reason, when we did these, like we did the roses like one rose, one session. We lined out, I think, 2 the first session, but we only had time to fill in one of them. So we did like 3 sessions, 1 on each rose kind of thing. They're pretty big, right? So there were some places where the black didn't take as well, in this rose as well. I gotta be honest with you, I just noticed that Terry did the black in this petal as well. I didn't notice that. Anyway, we had a pretty big day. I'll just start out with what we did. So anytime you're doing like red, white, black, like color and white, really, is what I want to say. Not just over black, but in general. The white should always go last because you don't want to be brushing ink into your black. It's partly superstition, but I still think that there's some truth to the fact that you can contaminate your white with other colors. So you can mix your white with other colors when you brush the other colors over top of fresh white. So if you're gonna do white, always do it at the end. It's pretty common. Obviously, the white highlights always go last, but even in a full color on black tattoo like what these are, and these are full color, I'll get into that in a minute, you should always do the white last. So what I mean to say by full color is this sleeve emulates a sort of black and gray look with red, but it is a full color tattoo. People ask me to explain what I mean by use black with the white. There's more black in this rose than there is white. Then what I mean to say is not the negative of the black. So this sleeve was done with dynamic black. The new black is Panthera black, XXX in particular. That is used in order to prop up the white. So like, in other words, none of this white stands out as much without a new black in the formation. When you do both of them at the same time, it seems to like, it's odd. It's almost like it creates walls. When Rick and I were doing the torso, we learned so much. Like it was like, oh, okay, so we did the black, then we came back 3-4 weeks later to do the white, and the black had softened quite a bit. But if we did the white and the black together, they stayed at the same range. There's still one tentacle on my stomach. I'll show it off here if I can. See if I get this any lower. Yeah, this tentacle down here never stayed before. No matter how many times we did the black and the white, it just kept going away. until we did them at the same time, and then it was good. Everywhere we did both at the same time stayed really well and hasn't really aged bad. But like whenever we would do one or the other, white or black, they would kind of do this thing where they would fade off. So you have to do this like a full color tattoo. It has to be fully saturated. Everything has to be completely saturated in the same session, or else you don't get the same visual impact. So in saying that, when I get to my other sleeve, I don't care what the size of the chunks of the sleeve we do at a time are. They have to be done at the same time, or else we may as well not bother. That's why I'm always very critical of people who just do white on black, like white line work on black. It just doesn't work that way. Like, you really do need to prop the white up. There's going to be people who will chime in and be like, I have some white line work on black and it looks great. It's like, yeah, maybe close up it does, but I guarantee you from a far ways away, no one can see it or tell what it is. If you want something like that, where I can be down the road and you can see it, you have to use contrast. So part of what we did this last session is we ramped up the contrast to another degree. Something I've been chiming on about for quite a while is the amount of different shades you can get over black with just white and black if you're diligent and patient. In my case, we have a dynamic, which there's still some dynamic in here, very little. Then we have first pass white. We have Panthera black, so that's 3. Then we have some areas that are second pass white. And then we have third pass white highlights to create more dimension. These highlights will stay this way because it's been done enough that it can get that bright. You can pretty well quote me on that. I'm coming back and I'm going to be doing them in my my neck roses too soon. I just haven't gotten around to that. That'll probably be next month, I'm thinking. But yeah, like here we have some white, right? That's white shading. And then that's the third pass white highlights. So it scales with your effort, but that stuff still won't stand out as much without the work done. So I really, really just want to press that issue that if you're going to your artists and tell them, like, because a lot of people keep telling me they're telling their artists about my work, and the artist is like, what white ink are they using? And it's like, it's not about the white ink. We've used many different white inks and they're all the same. They have their differences, but there's no magic white. You just have to use another black. If you can figure out what your blackout was done with, and then use a different black than it was done with for the new layer, that will help you astronomically. But you have to do that. All of this is lined in black. All of this has black shading in it. So this is 2 days after I got this done. We touched up some spots of the red. I mentioned we did some black, very little black, just in the petals of some of these roses. We left the thorns as they are for now because I'm still not sure what I want to do with those. I'm moving away from the idea of doing brown or green. I think what we'll probably do is do like a chrome colored opaque gray or silver, and that will probably be here maybe in a month or 2. It's just important to create more separation, right? So like right now they're kind of black, and that's fine, but like I don't want them to be like real dark necessarily. Like that's not really the idea, is for them to be super dark. The idea is for them to be different than the foreground. And we have, because of the white highlights, we've created a real foreground here, but it still could be, further apart. So we touched up some of the red. We did the third pass white highlights, and we did the black touches. Believe it or not, all of that took around 5 hours. I was actually expecting the whole thing to be like 2 hours, but Terry, to his credit, and I was fully on board for this, he wanted to touch up most of the red on the outer arm. Even though it's pretty solid, he's still seen some black sticking through in a few spots. And now we don't see that anymore. It's like pretty well bulletproof. This is just about to start peeling. We're less than 2 days since I had the session. I started getting tattooed 42 hours ago, I think. 43 hours ago, something like that. So I'm peeling again in like 43-ish hours on this. Again, when you're doing like light touch-ups and stuff, even if you're brushing the entire area, the saturation isn't like super intense. You're just kind of brushing it. And he was actually able to use the 27 mag for this time. We haven't been able to use the 27 mag because it hasn't been putting it in densely enough. But now that it's mostly red in there and not black, the 27 mag is just there. It goes real quick, smooths it over. And I think we're going to get a really good result. Like, really good result this time. Because I don't see any black in the places that I could see a little bit of black in before. So, yeah, in between 2 and 3 passes on the red. Because the inner arm didn't need a touch-up at all. The inner arm took it like a champ. This has only been done one time. Whatever reason, my armpit took the red really well. So did up here. So, my neck. I plan on doing a second pass on the neck now because I've seen the color concentration ramps up so much with the second pass that I think having this just a little bit more condensed, not brighter, but like more solid, would add. And it's not like I mind getting tattooed anyway, so like I may as well do that, right? Make it as good as I can. Because again, the neck's only been done once. For whatever reason, my neck's saturated easier than my arm. My outer arm is pretty weathered though. So, yeah, the white highlights, I think they made the biggest difference. Really noticeable difference like up here. This main one got a lot of love this time. The top one was my favorite one, but it was also the one that worked the least or the worst. So it was kind of nice that it got the most shine from this session because it is my favorite of them. This one didn't need much love, and it still got a big buff. Like that one on my ditch is like, you're never going to find a black and gray rose that's as poppy as that. There isn't one. So this is my humble brag. We've created work over black that is more contrasted and visually poppy than anything you'll ever get with black and gray. It's just a reality. And that's not going to change when I show this off next week either. Or next year, probably even. It may dull down a little, but with what I'm seeing with these, no chance it's going away. Again, this stuff's all going on like 6 months to a year territory now. If you're following along, all this stuff that I've been doing is aging and not going anywhere. So, now to eat a little bit of humble pie, I had a worse heel on the knuckles than it initially looked like they were going to be. So there's quite a bit of black through here. So this is me admitting, where I have, I've got work to do here. So I did expect it, but it turned out even a little bit worse than I thought. That being said, this is kind of the result I expected initially putting red over black. Like I would have expected it to mostly be like this or even worse, believe it or not. So the fact that I have terrible dog shit hands, as I've shown my infected hand many times by now, and the fact that it's red on black, I still think that's not bad. When this all peels, it will have still the transition of red into black that I wanted it to. It just needs definite attention. It will be at least 2 passes, probably 3. But that's a half an hour at the end of a day. So for anyone who's like, oh my God, that's terrible. You followed me long enough probably by now, if you're watching this video, that you know exactly how this is going to go down. I'm going to take care of it. I'm going to give it, it'll probably be next month or the month after. We'll do another pass. Then after that, we might do another pass. And it's as far as I'm concerned, things like that are clockwork now. It's not even like a thing that I worry about or like, what if of this or what if of that? No, it just gets done. That's all there is to it. All right, so coming up, hopefully the next time I'm talking to you guys, I'll have more to say about my development on my other sleeve. Rick has been particularly self-destructive lately, so we haven't been getting fucking anywhere on it, and it really, really is starting to bug me. But it's not for lack of interest on my part. He's just been, yeah. I'll get into that in the next video, whether I get tattooed or not. Alright, I'll talk to you guys again soon. Have a great day.